The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is sponsored by Two Fat Lardies, Geek Nation Tours, and also by the generous donations of you, the listener. Thank you to everybody for your continued support. The Meeples and Miniatures podcast, episode 201, Geek Nation Tours, with hosts Neil Shuck, Mike Hobbs, Mike Whittaker, and Dave Luff, and guest Teras Cassidy. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. I'm Neil Shuck, and on this evening's show, we are joined by a duo of globe-trotting co-hosts. So, now one would hope fully recovered from his trip to the frozen north, as he so lovingly detailed for us on last week's intro. Mr. Michael Hobbs, hello, sir.
Hello. How is everybody?
Oh, not so bad. Not so bad.
How's your arm?
Yeah, it's.
Let's get back to that.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a second. And of course, back from Seattle, we have Mr. Michael Whittaker. Hello, sir.
That'll be me then. Hello there. How are you?
I'm all right. You're sounding a bit more awake.
Well,
awake.
As I pointed out to you earlier, part of it was I was sitting in a large group breakout area, trying not to disturb everybody else as well. Oh, there's a Mr. Thanatos here. He wants his Infinity Gauntlet back. Seems to think it's on your hand or something.
Yeah. How's the hand? Incredibly frustrating. You may have seen over the weekend, I did post a couple of photos and did a quick update on the website about the trials and tribulations of attempting to assemble MDF buildings with 1.5 hands. And whilst it's fine when they're kind of big and chunky and don't have any fiddly bits, attempting to do any sort of dexterous stuff where you actually need both of your hands to kind of work properly, it doesn't work. So incredibly frustrating because I have a whole load of stuff which I desperately want to crack on and assemble and other bits and pieces, and I can't do it. It is so annoying. Other than that, I'm fine.
Well, I'm sure if you keep using it whilst it's in plaster, it's going to heal really, really quickly.
Yes, Dad.
Go on, Mike, you have a go with him. I've tried it half a dozen times. He doesn't listen to me.
Well, he doesn't listen to me either, so I'm not even going to try. Yeah.
Yes, it has to be said. At one point on the Twitter feed, this this note appeared from Mr. Hobbs. It said, "Oh, yes. What was it? What part of rest your arm do you not quite understand?" It's driving me up the wall. The fact that
this horse is dead. It has gone and joined the choir invisible. Stop flogging it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Moving on. So we have our usual packed show for you on this week. In the main part of the show, we will be chatting to Teras Cassidy from Geek Nation Tours. Teras was on the show best part of 3 years ago, I think it was. And we've got him back on the show to chat about and find out what he's up to currently and a few other bits and pieces. But before we do that, we're obviously going to catch up with everything we've been doing in the past week. And it does have to be mentioned, actually, because we are recording this on the 22nd of March. And just like to say, our thoughts and sympathies go out to the people affected by the London terror attack today. Mr. Whittaker was actually in the capital at the time, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, I was down by Bank, so relatively safe.
Yeah.
The considerable police presence at King's Cross was considerable and noticeable. Surprisingly, not armed. I have seen armed police there on some days, but they weren't actually armed when I was there. But yes, our thoughts and prayers definitely with everybody involved.
Certainly. And on that note, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be chatting about what we've been up to in the last week.
I don't like it, Sergeant.
Me neither, sir.
Good Lord, it's really looking pretty bad.
Yes, sir. It happens every time, sir. It's too predictable, sir.
How far do you think we've advanced, Sergeant?
6 inches, sir. It's always 6 inches. We advance 6 inches, then Jerry gets a go. The lads are calling it Hi-Go, You-Go, sir.
Hi-Go, You-Go? Good grief.
And they don't like it, sir.
Oh, not like it. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Rather like cricket. We have an innings, then the other chap does.
Well, that's all very well, sir, cricket, sir, but begging your pardon, it ain't like that, sir, in war. I don't think Mr. Hitler plays like that.
What, Hitler? No, gosh, he'd like to go all the time.
Oh, Lord, sir, lummy. Oh, well, sir, anyway, sir, it's like this, sir. If it carries on like this, Hi-Go, You-Go, me and the lads won't be coming to your Thursday evening games club, and that's the way it is, sir.
Looking for more of a challenge with your World War II games? Are you tired of the predictability of Hi-Go, You-Go systems? Iron Bean Shopman provides real command challenges on an unpredictable battlefield. Two fat lardies, playing the period and not the rules since 2002. Pip pip.
What have we been playing? What have we been buying? We might even have painted something. The Meeples and Miniatures crew reveal all.
So welcome back. So what have we been up to?
I was going to suggest reverse order of distance travelled this past fortnight.
Okay, well, since in that case, then, since I've gone,
out to the car, flatten your ass, and back up again.
Oh, thanks for that. I was just going to say about 100. I've travelled about 100 feet around the house. There is one problem with being sat on your backside in front of a laptop all day. You start suffering.
Where's this going, Neil?
I was like, yeah, you do start suffering from internet wobbly shelf syndrome. No, okay. What have I done this week? I've written a lot of reviews. You may have noticed that there has been an explosion of reviews on the blog in the last 10 days or so. This was all in the lead up to Warlord releasing Test of Honor, which is coming out this coming weekend. So hopefully I'll be getting mine early next week. Are you listening, Ruben? I accept priority shipping.
I shall pass the message on. He was most amused.
So yes, so in the light of that coming, what the intention was, and hence this is where the frustration from the intro comes in. What the intention was to put together a whole load of reviews of miniatures, of terrain, and then potentially, okay, well, if you've got a samurai force, this is some of the other things that you might want to take a look at. So that was the intention. So unfortunately, the figure reviews and the miniature and the terrain assembly has had to be postponed until I get this pigging cast off. But I did manage to. But I was, funny enough, being sat on your backside for 2 weeks, it does give you time to go back over stuff and remind yourself of rules that you've played in the past, and go back and actually manage to remember to write some muffs. So I've done a load of reviews of Samurai rule sets, both Big Battle and Skirmish, which I think some people have been quite enjoying. No gaming, because
You can't roll dice.
And this is different from normal how?
Normally he can roll them, he just came up with the wrong number.
Yeah. No, thank you. No gaming because I'm currently unable to travel to Mr. Luff's under my own steam. So no gaming this week. Not even solo gaming at home. I suppose at some point I should maybe consider doing some solo gaming, but to be honest, even shuffling cards could be a bit of an issue. So no gaming. What have I bought?
This should be good.
Yeah, okay. So there's been a fair amount of bits of samurai scenery. Now, because I decided that we were going to review scenery, over the past few weeks I've been picking up the odd piece of scenery from all the guys who do 28mm medieval Japanese scenery. So I've had various boxes of that arrive over the past few weeks, including like some MDF stuff from like Sarissa and Foreground, and then we've got some resin stuff from like Ashiro, and there's another company that's completely escapes me which arrived today, which is crazy. But anyway, so yeah, I've had various boxes of scenery arrive, and then I went out and bought a board game, which I think I mentioned last week that it may have arrived, or I can't remember if it arrived last week or not. But I bought Ghost Stories because that is a superb. That was it. I didn't mention it last week because Luffy said he'd never played it. However, the expansion arrived on Friday. Because obviously, if a game's got an expansion,
You have to buy it.
Yeah, and the fact that apparently this was a really good expansion, and it was going cheap on Miniature Mart in America. They were selling it for like $23. So it's like, it'd be rude not to. So that came back into last week. That's kind of about it at the moment. There's loads of stuff that's going to be hopefully popping up to review, but not for about 3 weeks. That is about me. Yeah, it's been.
That's quiet for you.
Next,
Mr. Hobbs, Reykjavik and back.
Reykjavik back. Well, I'm back, and good news, everybody. I've regained my painting mojo. I had about a month when I wasn't painting.
Yes, your blog went very quiet.
Did you buy it in that dodgy museum in Reykjavik then?
Yes. I bought a kilo of painting mojo.
New paintbrushes.
Yeah.
Yes, you know.
I was trying very hard not to go there.
Yes, with novelty bristles.
Yeah. And a little bag to keep them in. Anyway, so yes, I'm been painting again. So I've done some Conan miniatures.
Because you'll always have Conan miniatures to paint.
There'll always be Conan miniatures to paint. I've finished off my Elder Epic Titan, which has been sat there for a while, waiting for one arm to be finished. So he's done. And I painted up a whole village in 15mm.
Oh yeah, this is the one they told us about last week. It's very nice.
Yeah, Total Battle miniatures, lovely, very very nice. So I've done that. I haven't been playing at all. I haven't having a chance to get out and play. Work's gone manic again. I bought a few bits.
No, surely not.
I bought some more of the Total Battle miniatures buildings.
Oh really? Did you buy another village, or just more buildings to put in your village?
No, I bought a town.
You know what? That was almost going to be my next question. So that's the one with 7 buildings in it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I also bought the Hamlet mat, which holds 3. So I thought if I get the town and I got a village, then I can swap and change around. And yeah, so I did that. I know it's a weak excuse, but you know, I bought one of their 10mm buildings as well to have a little look at, which are a slightly smaller footprint.
For review purposes.
Well, I'm thinking for War Master, for Sword and Spear Fantasy. They're sort of black powder buildings, and I think they'll fit in quite nicely with that. So I've got one to have a little look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
nice, aren't they?
Lovely, yes. Look lovely. And then I watched a video on YouTube about Rune Wars.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, this is quite nice. So I asked 2 of my closest friends to talk me out of it. I sent a mail going, help, I'm getting distracted. Talk me out of buying this. Would you like to hear one of the replies?
I can guess.
I'm just certain he never mailed me, but yeah, go on.
These people I actually play games with. So this is from Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Who basically said, I must admit, this has caught my eye as well. It will be fantastic produced and supported. The figures will be a huge money pit, downside.
Yes.
Anyway, so I don't know a huge amount more, but it looks like X-Wing style movement and action dials.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great.
What? And that was his attempt to talk you out of it?
Yeah, that was his attempt to talk me out of it.
Steve, I'm sorry, mate. You're just not trying.
Yeah. My other mate, Mark, just went, unfortunately, Mark, there's nothing I can do for you after seeing the undead and revenant monsters, except help you play it. As someone with the wargaming willpower of a wet piece of paper, I can't think of anything else to get you out of the problem.
Oh, these guys know you so well.
They do. Yeah. So I bought that.
Yeah, snap.
As you would.
Mr. Hobbs, what took you so long?
I was being good. I was holding back. I wasn't looking at it.
I've had it on pre-order for 2 months. Admittedly, I thought it. Originally, they did say that the base set was due for delivery in Q1. I was hoping to get it at the end of February, and they've now put it back until I think is it 27th of April. I think
13th it says on Firestorm's site.
Oh, what? Oh, and that's not fair. You may get yours before me. Because I ordered mine from Magic Madhouse, I think it was at the time.
Yeah. Yes, I've ordered that. And some extra dice.
Yes. I'm looking at all the extra expansion packs they're producing and talking about and kind of going, yeah, I think you mentioned about Money Pit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's only 10 expansions. They're about £20 each, so, you know.
Yeah.
It's not much, is it? Anyway. Mr. Whittaker, your turn.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
What's the phrase? Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
So, yeah, what have I done? Flown to Seattle and back. Planned the next round of the Clubs I Ain't Been Shotman campaign, in which the Germans have decided that the thing they're going to do with their winning draw from last week is what the Germans always did when they had the initiative in parts of northeast Italy, which is run away to the next decent defensive position.
I was going to suggest dig, but
no, run away, then dig.
Oh, okay.
Just they're only holding about half the table from the previous game. It was a winning draw for the Germans, largely because the British didn't achieve their complete objective. They wound up holding one of the villages out of the 2. And were in a reasonable position. They could probably take the other. So the Germans, as it was, it's kind of like at the sharp end, in that the winners of a campaign round get the initiative. And the Germans said, "Fine, we'll do the typical German thing at this point. See that town back there with a lot of the nice hills and fortifications around it? Move it." So yeah, I'm most disappointed because I'd even painted them up a nice ruined Sherman for the one that got blown up in the previous scenario.
Oh, is this the one you had, like, 3D printed and got painted?
No, it's a Battlefront objective marker.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Learning a few interesting things about what happens when tanks catch fire at the same time. Ever wondered why burnt-out cars are always rusty?
Go on.
Apparently there's a phenomenon called flash rust when painted metal catches fire. It rusts almost instantly.
I never knew that.
Neither did I.
Oh.
Which is why most burnt-out tanks are rusty.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, no, I'm flat. I never knew
Who said
that.
this program wasn't educational?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, other than that, had a pleasant evening down at the club. Decided that since I hadn't been there the previous week, I'd go in and sit and chill and natter. In the way of these things, we've organised our game for Partisan, which is going to be a nice little Border Reaver participation skirmish.
Ooh, Border Reapers. Ooh.
Yes, and Carl from Second Thunder is going to wet himself because we're using open combat.
What figure range are you using?
I have no idea. It's whatever Colin's been buying. Colin's running a Border Reavers campaign down the club later in the year, so we've been play testing a few additions to open combat to handle things like horses and firearms.
Isn't the Perry's 40 mil?
No, there's 28s.
Oh, they're 28s. Okay.
They're 28. So we've also just picked up the Timeline Miniatures Border Farm, the Battle House, and the Medieval Barn. So just to make the table look borderish, as you do. And that'll be a nice little participation game for Partisan. We're expecting about 4x4 table, 4 players, spend about an hour, have a play with a really nice set of rules. Yeah, why not?
Cool.
Also, what else have we done? I sat in on a couple of my I Ain't Been Shotman campaign players playing a game of I Ain't Been Shotman, which amused me greatly because about the first thing they said at the end of the evening was, you know what? We just realised how much easier it is with an umpire. I said, oh, good, glad to be appreciated. With the best one in the world, it also served out as quite a nice demonstration of why I like the I Ain't Been Shotman's like game campaigns I run, where, much like Chain of Command, 2 to 3 vehicles is quite a few. Because this was, I think there were half a dozen half tracks and I think about 7 or 8 tanks on the German side, and it started to look a little cluttered, and it lost that sort of open, spacious feel that I like to try and get with my A&B Shotman games.
Yeah.
The other thing I did discover this week, for those who saw my little tweet on the subject, I was statting up because the Germans have effectively skipped a turn in the campaign we're playing. So by falling back, they're getting their replacement platoon to replace the one that was largely destroyed. They started out slightly under strength. They lost a couple of sections. They've basically got a platoon back, so they're up to a full strength company now. Being able in I Ain't Been Shotman to reflect the fact that it's a raw platoon by changing when it changes from getting 3 actions to dropping down to 2 actions when it's taken a certain number of casualties. Normally it's something like 1 and 2 you get no actions, 3 you get 1 action, 4, 5, 6 you get 2 actions, 7, 8 you get 3 actions. But for a raw platoon, you can shift it. So 8 you get 3, 5 and 6, 6 and 7 you get 2, 4 and 5 you get 1, and 1, 2, 3 you get none. So that as a raw platoon, if it starts getting hit, it goes down in its ability to fight much quicker. And I just thought it's one of the sort of elegant subtleties of I Ain't Been Shot, which really easy to miss. And then of course to cap it off, you give them a big man level 1 as a leader.
Yeah.
And then they become an interesting command problem. Do you send the company CO to bolster them? Do you send the company Feldwebel, the NCO that is otherwise going to be handling the machine gun team? Do you send him to bolster them so they've got a level 1 and a level 2? And it's just why I like Two Fat Laddies.
Yeah.
I was just doing the write up for the pre write up for the next round of the campaign, and thinking, this allows me to do things that would be really hard to do in some other systems. You know, by just changing 2 stats, I've given them a command problem and a need to be aware of the fact that one of their platoons is raw.
It's a good idea.
It's cool. It's awesome. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to.
Cool. Buy anything this week?
Did I buy? Well, this week's only really consisted of the weekend of Monday and Tuesday. No, I released an album. How's that?
Oh.
It's a bit quiet.
The band I play bass in, well, one of the 2 bands I play bass in, called Divisionists, who are sort of folk psychedelic. It's not my songs, I just play bass because it's fun. Brought out their first full album on Friday on MP3 and real live spinny black vinyl stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Proper.
Proper audiophile, whatever it is, 180-gram vinyl.
Cool.
So it's called The Divisionist. The album's called Daybreak. If you like sort of Lemonheadsy, sort of power, psych, poppy, funky weirdness, go check out my Twitter feed. One of my Twitter feeds is there somewhere.
Wow, cool.
We appear to be getting radio airplay, which is even more terrifying.
That's really cool. Excellent stuff. Well, thanks, chaps. And on that note, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we will be chatting with Teras Cassidy from Geek Nation Tours.
The nation is vast. There are battlefields of old, great convention halls, and worlds of fantasy to explore. Who will guide us across this great geek nation?
Since 2010, Geek Nation Tours have been providing holidays for groups of like-minded people. Whatever your nature of geek, tabletop gaming, TV, film, comic books, sports or science, Geek Nation Tours caters for you. Visit www.geeknationtours.com for more details and join the great Geek Nation. We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. If you are, would you like to support us? There's a couple of ways of doing so. You can become a patron of the show by supporting us on our Patreon page. There you can give regularly every time we produce a show. Alternatively, you may want to give a one-off donation, and you can do that by using PayPal. For more details on both these options, please click on the Donate tab on our website www.meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. We're very pleased to welcome back to the Meeples and Miniatures podcast and a brand new podcast sponsor, Mr. Teras Cassidy from Geek Nation Tours. Good evening, sir.
Hello, how are you guys?
We're very well. How are you doing?
Awesome, very good. Busy as usual. Adepticon's coming up, so planning for that tour.
Oh yeah, of course. That's not very far away now, is it?
No, that's just a couple more weeks, and then we'll be headed down to Chicago. So all the fiddly bits have to be completely arranged, and I'm almost through. So it's always a little bit of work just before a tour. So that's cool. Really looking forward to it. Lots of stuff going on down there this year. Salute is at the same time, isn't it? Somewhere around the same time.
Well, Salute is on
Weekend of the 22nd, I think, of April.
22nd of April.
22nd of April. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So a little bit later. So that's cool.
I'm not going. I'm not going, as I shall be in your fair country.
You're going to be coming to Canada.
I shall be in Toronto.
Oh, in any reason in particular, or just
musical guest at a science fiction convention.
You're a musical guest at a science fiction convention.
In one.
Ah, tell me more.
I'll send you a link.
Okay, sounds good.
Come on, Mr. Whittaker. Less of the mystery. Come on, talk. Come on.
That's a pretty accurate summary. I am musical guest on virtue of having produced assorted bits of science fiction fantasy related music at Phil Ontario in Toronto from the 19th to the 23rd, whatever the dates are, 21st to the 23rd of April. So I shall be turning up with the wife and the son, otherwise known as the keyboards player and the drummer, dragging my friend Rika over from Bielefeld, who is a singer and second guitarist, and borrowing a bass player and a pianist while we get over there. And it will be fun.
I think you'll like Toronto. Toronto's a good town. Make sure you get out. Lots of really great restaurants.
My second
visit,
okay, good. I gather there's some quite fun board game cafes there as well.
Yep, there are. Yeah,
I have been
great
told.
restaurants all the way through. Well, you'll have to make it down to the western side too one of these days and see the Great Rockies. Come visit.
Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Alberta, right beside the Canadian Rockies, so I look at the Rockies through my.
Closest
my
I'm
window.
going to get is Seattle next week, I suspect.
Oh, Seattle's a nice town too. Look at
Seattle's
you,
all right.
you're all over the place.
Yeah, I get work to pay for that one as well.
Awesome. Yeah, Seattle's beautiful. Seattle is really beautiful. Lots of
digress.
We did, but that's okay.
That
Not
must
like
be this
us.
podcast then.
Get on with it.
So what?
Thank you, Mr. Love. So yeah. As we have established, Mr. Cassidy is from the fair nation of Canada, and obviously, I mean, we were just saying it's been 3 years since we last talked. That's flown by.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a really hectic 3 years for us too. Just lots of things going on, and you guys too. Yeah, it's funny how the time just keeps on ticking, and we do the same thing and having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, it's 3 years. That's crazy.
I think it was back on. I think it was show 127. I think if memory serves me correctly. So okay, first question: what have you been up to for the last 3 years then?
Loads, actually. We really, I think this has been our 5th Adepticon tour. This next one coming up. So we've obviously we go to the Adepticon. We have tons of guests show up there. Adepticon's kind of developed as a tour over the last 3 years. We have way more guests. We have guests every night. We have, for instance, on our welcome dinner, we're going to have the guys from Secret Weapon come by, Steamforged Games, and Reaper Miniatures. And that's basically just the first night. All the way through the nights,
cool.
We have tons of guests and everything like that. So Adepticon has really been has been developed for sure. But yeah, we've got tons new stuff. We really have expanded a lot. Basically, I did the last 3 years of tour building and really expanded what we do. Some of the basic ones, Gen Con is one of the ones that we go to also, and Essenspiel. We also have a really great tour to Germany and Essenspiel. So those are two of the gaming ones. What else? Oh, okay. And then obviously we have our UK tour too. If you want to go over more detail about that later, but that one's kind of expanded too, kind of gone through a few incarnations. We went to Scotland. We went to all over the place in central and southern England. So we've kind of went through a few incarnations of that tour. But what we've added, I mean, it's been crazy. We're going to Japan in October. Battle of Sekigahara, so we do a battlefield tour in Japan, really dive into samurai culture. Yeah, it's amazing.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that one's one of my favorites. I've been into Japanese culture since I was like 16, reading Wolverine and Shogun, and this tour that I've built to go to Sekigahara really is my baby. It's the one that I've wanted to do for years, and we've done it once already. This is the second go on it, and we do crazy cool stuff. We walk the Nakasendo Highway where the samurai used to walk, kind of up a mountain pass. We go to a Kyudo and Kendo demonstration. We go to the Sekigahara reenactment. So you see samurai walking down the street, and it's amazing tour. It really is. If you're at all into samurai, that's a good one for everyone, for sure.
I'm just thinking, actually, Teras, perhaps just in case people haven't listened to the show you were previously on, can you just give us the brief introduction to Geek Nation Tours, what you're about, what you do?
Sure, that's awesome. I guess we could have started with that.
I know. I suddenly thought, hang on, we just launched into it, and it was like, hang on a minute. There are people who might not have a clue who you are. Let's just move back a little bit, and can you just give us a brief introduction into, who are you?
Teras from Geek Nation Tours. Geek Nation Tours is a tour company that specializes in geek travel. So we do tons of geeky destinations that are related to everything that a geek might love. So really, our mandate is to bring people to places where they've always wanted to go, like Gen Con and Adepticon, UK, Nottingham, that kind of thing, Japan, and just bring people together and have them come on a tour and experience things. Not only, sometimes it's linked to a convention, but it's also usually an expanded version of that convention if it is linked to a convention. We do Battlefield tours. We do Star Trek convention tours. Last year was the 50th. We went to a whole bunch of film sites in LA and on our way to Vegas. Bobby Clark from the Gorn, the guy in the Gorn suit, was out there with Vasquez Rocks with us. We do anime tours, Civil War tours. We're actually branching out. We're now going into music, and we're going to have a kids tours, kids space tours, but we're also hitting science hard too. We've got explorations of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Cape Canaveral. I've just been on the phone with the people from the Very Large Array. Those are the radio telescopes that search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and of course look at the skies in all things astronomical, and the Green Bank telescope. So we're going to go to visit them also. So really, but basically, Geek Nation Tours is a tour company for geeks, bringing everybody together, having adventure together in a cool destination, people of like mind and like passions. Everybody gets the same jokes. Everybody loves the same things. If you're at a board gaming convention with us, everybody there is also there for that. So everybody's just perfect friendships are bound. And yeah, that's basically what we do.
Cool. And as we've just been talking about, obviously, I mean, the company's been going for, I think we said, 7, 8 years now?
Yep, that's right.
You've been massively expanding since we first talked. I mean, I think just after we talked, that following Gen Con, you were going to have Garrett Wang on. Alongside you on Gen Con, and those.
Yeah, that was awesome. A quick story on that one. Garrett was definitely on our tour to Gen Con. I think that was 3 years ago now. Anyway, our Gen Con tour always has a theme. We themed that one, of course, to Starship Bridge simulating games. So we'd play stuff like Space Cadets, Dice Duel, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we also did Artemis. I don't know if you know what Artemis is, but it's a great game where you go in and you play as if you're on the bridge. There's computer screens. You sit down. One person's communications, one's weapons, one's science, one's engineering, one's navigation. Anyways, and one's captain. And so I said, okay, Garrett, you're going to be one of the captains in this. And we're all playing. I've got a large group. I've got like 6 rooms playing. Garrett's in one of them. And we alter. Everybody gets a chance to hang out, of course, and be one of the guys with Garrett on the bridge. And the object is destroying other aliens' vessels because they're attacking the Federation, or the non-IP version of that. And Garrett, I'm the admiral. I'm in the back sending people to the various sectors to make sure each ship to go and battle the bad guys, right? And I say, okay, you got to go to this one, you got to go to this one. And so I was in charge. Okay, if you were really good, I would send you to a place where there was lots of ships. But Garrett, he was the captain ever. So I had to always give him all the really easy places, and he would laugh. He laughs about it all the time whenever I talk to him about it. It's just it was terrible. He was getting his crew all killed, and it was kind of Kobayashi Maru-ish, actually. What was going on.
At some point, didn't someone turn around to him and say, "Excuse me, you're meant to be the professional on this"?
Yeah,
it's like, come on, man! You were doing this for 7 years.
That's exactly what it was, right? That's what we expected, but you never know what you expect. Clearly, he's not a starship captain quality, so maybe he's just keep his ensign insignia there and hang out in the background and help.
Earlier, you were talking about Adepticon. As a game convention, how has that grown over the last few years?
Oh, it's massive. Last time we talked, actually, they were just moving into a new venue. They have a great new place at the Schaumburg Convention Center. This year, they've expanded. I've talked to Greg quite a bit, and Greg Sparks, and he says that they've had unbridled growth this year. They have tons more vendors. They have way more shopping and fun, but their gaming sections have developed also, and their all their tournaments and gaming experiences have also really grown. So I'm actually really surprised at the growth. Well, no, not really surprised. They put on a great show. I'm shocked at how fast it's been, the turnover, because we were getting a little bit tight at the venue.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great show though. Adepticon puts on an awesome show if you're a miniature war game. I played a Little Bighorn game when I was there last year. This year I'm playing Epic. So old games also, but new games too. So yeah, it's an amazing. You guys really should come over for it. It's a great convention.
I think it's on the list, isn't it, guys?
More patrons are needed. Oh, I thought that was Gen Con.
Well, Gen Con is also. First of all, they're so great to work with at Gen Con, and Adepticon too. They're both really great, super people to work with. Gen Con is amazing, big, and there's I think 60,000 people that were there last year. But you don't really that intimidates a lot of people, but it's not like that at all. Like you go to games and there's 6 or 8 people playing in the game with you. So if you go to a very big convention, of course, then it's in bigger rooms. But you really do, even though it's a massive convention by just looking at the numbers, it offers so much to people that you really get a kind of a home feel. You get that vibe that, okay, there might be thousands of people outside, but I'm still just hanging out rolling dice. So it's a really great convention. And then their vending hall is also incredible. And you can play almost everything. I mean, they also have really big rooms where you game also. But of course, you got to remember that the player count is usually, no bigger than 8 or 10 and on most games. So you're always going to have kind of an intimate experience anyway. A very good convention. Really excited about this year's Gen Con tour. We have tons of guests coming to that one. As we normally do. Big one that we're really super excited about is Weta Workshop is going to come and Cryptozoic Entertainment, and they're going to talk about heavy hitters, giant killer robots. So that's an amazing. Yeah, they're going to be at our welcome dinner. So of course cool. With the D6 generation and everybody and everything. So just a great vibe. And then again, we do all sorts of have guests all the way through. One thing, Gen Con, of course, as an RPG, that's where it started with Dungeons & Dragons in Lake Geneva, right? But hence the name, right? So we try to do a little bit of role-playing, but literally any type of gamer that you are, there's something for you to do. On our Thursday night, we have Hunter's Books coming with us. Ivan is going to give us a zombie crawl experience. So we're going to have Outbreak Undead, and you're going to be playing downtown Indianapolis as if the zombie apocalypse is just broken out. So that's the kind of stuff we do at Gen Con. So just an amazing tour and just an amazing convention. That's another one you guys should come across the pond for sure. Yeah.
Hang on, is that right? It says Gen Con 50th anniversary.
Yeah, 50th anniversary this year. Yeah. So,
wow. Who knew Gen Con was going that? Has been going that long.
1967.
Well,
that's scary.
Yeah, it started with Gary Gygax in Lake Geneva, right? So when Dungeons & Dragons first came out, actually, I think it was prior to Dungeons & Dragons, actually.
I'd say, because D&D is about 78, not 68, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 years prior they had Gen Con, and then he actually started Gen Con. So that's his child. And then, of course, it moved from Lake Geneva to Indianapolis.
Oh,
so
there you have it. Established in 1968 as a war games convention by Gary Gygax.
Yeah.
Wow.
About the oldest, isn't it? At that?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Gygax was really into miniature wargaming and rule making before RPGing.
Yeah, because if you remember, original quote, 3 books D&D, was a supplement on top of a set of wargaming rules called Chainmail.
Chainmail,
Wasn't
that's
it?
right. There you
Yep.
go. See, you're on it, man. You know it. That's interesting that it's that old already. Boy, man, I'm getting feeling old by the minute here. 3 years ago, we got on your show, and now you're telling me that it's been like that long since Dungeons and Dragons are on. I mean, I had one of the first editions of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm right up there too. Yeah, he established a long time ago, and it's just grown and grown and grown since. It is a thing of beauty, though. I think that Gen Con can be intimidating for first timers, but come hop up on the tour and we'll bring you. We have great, cool stuff that really helps with that. Like we have the D6 generation. We all get together in May just prior to when we pick our events, and they tell us, you know, what events you want to go to, what are the ones that you really want to make sure that you're gonna hit, and what are the ones you might want to miss, and then we talk about, we all go and do our own thing, and then at night we get together and game and have guests. So it takes away that intimidation factor. So yeah. That's one thing, and puts you in a group of people like I said, like-minded, a good community away from your community. So yeah, Gen Con is amazing.
Maybe next year.
You're going to need to get a passport now.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Yeah. Let me know. I know a guy.
Oh, okay. Now, one thing I was looking back at what you've been doing, and I noticed that you did Waterloo Battlefield Tour for the 200th anniversary.
Yeah, we were there at Waterloo. It was amazing. That was an interesting one for me to build. My historical interests lay more to Asia. So when I built my Waterloo tour, I had to really dive into that whole battle, and then of course the battle led me to the politics and Napoleon and history deep into it, because I had to know where to go when and what was relevant, right? So that was really a cool experience for me to I think it was my first tour that I kind of knew almost nothing about it and had to kind of build it from there. Had great experiences, amazing people were on the tour with me. We of course went to the reenactments, 2 days in reenactments. We had VIP reenactment tickets, which was incredible. We were right up there in front. They served us wine and beer and food prior to it. It was wonderful. Those guys in Belgium really went all out. And those museums, they redid almost every museum in the country, and it was amazing. It really was. Just a great experience. One of our tour participants, I had this a lot, this happens a lot on my battlefield tours, and people have been there, wanted to go there for so long. And I've had a couple guys, we went to, of course there's small sections of the battlefield that are important to the battle. And we went to all those, and there was like a farmhouse. I forget the name of the farmhouse. God damn it. It's out of my head right now. But anyway, there's a farmhouse, and I had to have these people walk across the street, and it was busy. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You got to take it easy. But they just wanted to touch the farmhouse. They just wanted to know that they were actually there, that tactile sense of history. It's amazing what a impact that kind of thing happens. I'm always left with a sense of awe of what I kind of accomplish on a tour when people are that moved by what they see and want to be part of the experience. And it was an emotional and cool, very cool adventure, Waterloo for sure.
Notice that you're also doing. What do we have? You did the UK miniatures tour last year, but you also did Sparta and Ancient Greece.
Yeah, that particular tour. This is the kind of example of kind of what we have to work on. Our Greek tour and the miniatures tour actually didn't go last year.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, not at all. Sometimes you lose a tour. Sometimes the tours just don't catch a good following. That one instead, what I've done is I've split it, and now we're going to be working with a new podcaster quite famous now is History on Fire. I don't know if you've ever heard that podcast, but he's actually working with us, and he's going to take on the Greece part. I've split it out, taken the miniatures out of it, and made that more of a Greece and Sparta tour.
Yeah.
So that one's going to happen in 2019. We do Spartacus next year. So we go to Italy and do a gladiator tour next year. So sometimes that happens. It's just the way of the business. We have to find the right market for everybody, right? We are, however, doing the miniatures in the UK this year.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was very impressed with the itinerary. The fact that obviously at some point you're going to end up in Nottingham, but I'm glad you're going to Nottingham the right way via Hadrian's Wall.
That's right.
Because obviously we all know that you get in order to get to Nottingham, you have to go via Hadrian's Wall.
That's right.
If you haven't seen Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, this will make no sense.
That's right. That's right. We're really excited about this year's tour to the UK. We're happy to be coming back. We added Hadrian's Wall because we've never done that before, and it's a super cool place to visit. Have you guys been?
I must admit I haven't. I mean, Mr. Lowe, surely. I mean, you're the outdoorsy sort of person.
Am I? Hadrian's Wall?
Yeah.
Yes, I've done Hadrian's Wall. And Vindolanda Fort. I've been to Vindolanda. Yeah.
Cool. Did you walk it, or did you just go to spots along it? Like
what you mean all the way from Leicester?
No. I know. I'm not saying the whole thing, but did you walk a section of it? Because I heard it's supposed to be quite a hike.
Yeah, it is quite a hike. I walked a fair amount of it, and then having said that, traipsing around Vindolanda is quite a hike. If you wander around that place, that's a definite to go to. Vindolanda Fort, definitely.
Yeah, we're headed there for sure. That's part of the itinerary for sure.
It's quite amazing to read Legionnaire's shopping list for 24 socks and a couple of cheeses and things like that, and wives of centurions inviting people to parties and things like that. It's quite interesting.
Isn't that cool that that's all there still? Like that we have all those records. I think that's quite amazing that we can still.
Yeah, it's the soil. It's the soil that was there that it preserved all these things, and it's all the stuff that really that historians in the past never wrote about. It's all the interesting day-to-day things. There's even one of a legionnaire. He's ringing right way up. He's here. He's writing back to his home, and he's telling his mum it's really cold and etc. And he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Right. Yeah. I and I think that's for me. Those experiences are much more evocative of the time. I think that those really make you say, you know what, I'm interested in what it happened. I mean, the battles are great, and because they give a punctuation mark to history and teach us maybe some of the things that we might not want to do. But those moments when someone's just bitching about the weather, those put a human face on the whole thing. So yeah, I'm really excited about going.
Are you doing Bosworth at all?
Let me think. I don't think we are. No.
No, I don't think they are this. No, they're not this year.
You should. You should on your next trip.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh.
Loads more information found about Bosworth in the last couple of years, isn't there, chaps?
Oh, just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, obviously, for me and Mr. Luff, it's our hometown. Well, it's Mr. Luff's hometown. It's my adopted hometown, and yes. The whole Witch of the Third thing kind of took off in the last couple of 3 years. So, and to be fair, the Bosworth Battlefield Centre and what have you has always been a really good day out. So it's possibly worth. And of course it's a battle of historical importance. It's the last time an English monarch was killed on the battlefield and stuff, and it's definitely worth a look. So I was just looking at your itinerary and just wondering, like, for example, if you were because obviously you were up around Hadrian's Wall. I was just wondering if you were kind of dropping in on Alnwick Castle on the way down, but looks like you're missing it.
Yeah, the thing is that we have to have some sort of modicum of logistics.
Yes. Otherwise, it's like, we need to go here, we need to go there. Yeah.
There's so much to see. I think that's really what it comes down to, is that you have to really really figure out what you want to get the vibe for. But there's so much to see and so much to return to. So I think that's one of the things that actually struck me, that we're going to actually spend a lot more time in England and in the UK. I was starting to branch out and say, okay, you know what, maybe we can go outside the UK and do this. But I think there's just so much there that multiple trips are warranted. So I just typed in Bosworth Battlefield, so it'll be on the next one maybe. So that's the thing. You got to keep on growing it, and there's just you guys live in such a place that's rich historically that it's something of a curiosity to most people. So I think
we've had a couple of millennia of disagreements over who owns it, basically.
That's right.
Yeah. You go, well, yes, there was the Civil War, but there was also the War of the Roses. There was things like Stephen and Matilda. There was the Barons' War. And that's before you go back to the Romans and the Vikings and the Saxons and the.
That's right. Actually, I really had. Funny that you should mention the Vikings, because I really had a hard time with whether I should do Hadrian's Wall or if I should focus on the Vikings. So I think next time we might be taking a look at Viking history in the UK, which is, I think, fascinating. That's
do Jorvik.
Yeah, that was on our list for sure,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, so that's coming to a UK tour near you.
Right.
So I think it's really interesting that you guys have that too. So, but I mean, the tour itself is going to be gaming related, right? So keep in mind that we're also gaming all the way through.
Yeah.
I've got stops for gaming. Even before we reach Nottingham, we're going to be gaming all the way through. So we might even have Arena Rex going on near Hadrian's Wall. I think that might be a little bit of funness there too. So,
well, yeah, I noticed you're attempting to do Leeds, the Royal Armouries at Leeds in the morning. Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah, I know.
Not gonna happen.
I've been there, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It is a wonderful place. John from Warlord actually suggested that for us on one of our trips, and we stopped there, and it is really an amazing museum, isn't it?
Oh, incredible.
Sadly, you will miss the lovely Kirsty, as she's gone to work for the National Trust.
Yes, we spoke to Kirsty, last year now, because we were dealing with her, because she was organising some gaming events at the at the Armouries. So I mean, that was really cool. We did 100 Years War Day, didn't we, Mike?
We did indeed. It was fabulous.
And obviously, the reason you're going to the Armouries has to be to see the Perry's Agincourt display, I would have thought.
Of course. Yeah, that is always a draw for sure. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that really gamers love, right? You can see all these swords and weapons and everything, and then, oh, by the way, there's a connection to the Perrys.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, it is really nice.
Superb.
It is. Well worth seeing. And then basically, you just looks like you spend best part of a week in Nottingham.
From our time in Leeds, then we head off to kind of one of the first times for us. We go to War Games Foundry. So we've never visited there before, and it's going to be quite a cool thing. Brian Ansel is going to be there just showing us the place around. We're going to have dinner there, and then we're going to game right there at War Games Foundry. So I think that's going to be a little bit of history there too. So we're excited about headed off to visit them. The one thing that I want to keep in mind, everybody wants to keep in mind when they're looking at the tour, is that it's going to be based on more broadly. Before, it's been a really Games Workshop biased tour. We've gone to Warhammer World, and we're going to still do that, Warhammer World and see GWHQ, but we've kind of opened up the tour to be kind of focused on more things, more gaming other than just GW. Although, of course, they're a big part of the tour.
Mhm.
We're going to go to Warlord Games. We're going to go to Mantic Games. We're going to go to Foundry. We're going to see the Perrys, Mears, Atlantis Miniatures. So it's going to be all out miniature wargaming. So just keep that in mind, that there's no focus on a particular company. It's actually going to be really, really broad. So that's one of the things, and that's why we're also starting in Wargames Foundry, just to see all the type of little bit of history, GW history there too, but also some other cool stuff that's happened to them. So that's why we're starting with them in Nottingham.
Cool. And of course, while you're in Nottingham, you happen to be popping into a board game cafe for the evening, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we are. As a matter of fact, we're hoping to see you guys there. As a matter of fact, so
funny that. All being well. Yes, yeah. So that's on the Thursday. Yeah. No, that sounds really cool. That'd be really cool.
We're going to the Lou Darty, I think is how you pronounce it, cafe, and in Nottingham, and we're going to be board gaming all night. So that's one of the other things that we're trying to bring into the tour is not only miniature board gaming, of course, but board gaming. And so that night they're going to have us. They're going to have us there. We're going to eat there, and then we're going to board game all night, well into the night, and see you guys there. So we're excited about you guys coming aboard and joining us there. Other stuff. We're going to be, of course, headed off. We always have our traditional stop at the trip to Jerusalem, and we always have a whole bunch of people there. Last time we had Perry twins. We have Rick Priestley was there. Jervis was there once. Andy Chambers, John from Warlord, Ronnie, of course, from Mantic Games. Just tons of people come by, and so we're really excited about that. What else? Oh, we didn't mention Duxford Imperial War Museum, so we're going to the air show.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to go to the air show at the Duxford. If you've ever been, another great museum. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it's an amazing place, the Duxford. And then, of course, seeing the air show too is going to be amazing too. So tons of gaming, tons of historical stuff, and you guys, and a lot of good stuff. Of course, Warhammer World and GW, and gaming all the way through. So and like-minded people, like I was saying. Yeah.
Well, and it seems, looking at what you've got arranged, I mean, you seem to be coming back to the UK a lot. I mean, it looks like we've got Harry Potter, you've got Sherlock Holmes, we've got what else have we got around here? Well, I mean, say UK. I mean, potentially more Ireland. You're looking at Game of Thrones and all sorts of stuff. Okay. Quick question.
Yeah,
so is this all just an excuse for you to go and do all the holiday, all the holidays that you want to on your bucket list? Is this why you really started the company?
I really get to do that. You know, I have a sense of awe and honor when I look at all the stuff I'm building and doing. I now have a guide in Europe, and so a lot of these I won't be doing. I won't be doing the Eschenspiel, for instance. Won't be doing Sherlock. There's a lot of tours that actually I don't go on. I actually get somebody else to take them over. But the ones that I really love, I take. So, for instance, I was mentioning that we have the very large array and our SETI tour coming up that I'm just building. It's not even on the tour on the page yet, but that's one of the things that I've been interested in my whole life. And actually, before I went into the travel industry, I wanted to be a SETI scientist. So that's one of the things that I get to do. So I am very, very lucky. Yes, I get to do all the tours that I want to do. Japan is another reason for that. That's one of the things that have been a big part of my life too. So yeah, I'm every day I wake up happy. That's for sure. Being able to build and meet people like you guys and be on tours and travel the world that the way I like, way a geek can do it. We live in an awesome time. The age of the geek is here for sure.
Indeed. Okay, looking ahead, then obviously it talks about the UK Games Tour coming up this year and some of the stuff you previously gone to. What else have you got coming up that people might be interested in?
Of course, like I just said, we're building the SETI tour. We've also got a really cool space tour. We will develop our Star Wars tour. That's going to be kind of partnered with the Celebration. That one's going to be. We're going to go back to Gettysburg. I've got a music tour that we're thinking about doing. Graceland, Nashville, Memphis, that kind of thing, talking about blues and country music and Elvis Presley, of course. So that one's
no interest here at all. None at all.
Yeah, that one's gonna be that's gonna be an amazing tour, because what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to gear it to musicians and people that are really wanting to learn about music in the past. I think I'm going to try to get a jam session at Sun Studio, so we can just jam and have a recording of it. So just cool, crazy stuff like that. That tour is going to be loaded with just stuff that you wouldn't be able to do normally. I've got 3 tours to Japan. I've got one Comiket that happens around Christmas time. I've got the anime tour, that's Japan Animation, the Tokyo Anime Festival. Game of Thrones is also, like I was saying earlier, we're going to do Iceland and Ireland. I think that's one of our ones that we're going to look at too. God, what else is there? That's just an amazing. We're actually going to do one around here. We're thinking about a dinosaur tour. That's southern Alberta. There's the Tyrrell Museum there. We're going to try to go there.
Looks like you're coming back to the UK next year for a potentially Battlefields tour.
Yeah, we're thinking about expanding that World War II Battlefield tour. I think that the whole kind of concept between our Battlefield tours, we have to revamp that tour, but what we're looking at is to create a tour that will kind of be all-encompassing World War II. So we're going to start in Britain, and then we'll go to every theater. I think that's the right word to use. So we'll go to like Italy and Germany, and we'll go to even all the way to the Pacific, I think is the eventual goal. So that one will be a series of tours that are offered probably every year or every second year that examine a new theater. So that's one of the ones too that are amazing.
I can't afford all these tours.
Just start on one. Just go on one. That's all you want.
There's about 6 or 7 I want to go on here.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, do block bookings.
And take your D10 and just.
Here's my credit card. Help yourself.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah. Interestingly, and that leads on to a question. I mean, obviously, Geek Nation Tours is aimed at geeks, but as far as the cross of population and actually, different nationalities, are the people that come on the tours primarily from American Canadian, or is it from right across the world?
That's right across the world. We have a huge population of Australians, actually. We have a lot of Australians that come on our tours. Sometimes they're up to 33% of our tour. When we did our Battlefields of Gettysburg, the Civil War tour, it was 33% Australians, Brits, Canadians, and actually, if you add up all the people from outside the United States that were going to the Civil War tour, there's more foreigners on the tour than there was Americans. So we have lots of different countries represented in our tours. There's no it's an international company, so everyone's welcome. And I would say probably you're looking at 30% or so are from Canada and United States. The rest are populated from abroad.
Okay, and again, going back to people who didn't hear you on the show originally. I just want to confirm how the whole thing works. So basically, when you book on the tour, it's a case of you start by meeting up in a particular location, and that's at the point where the tour starts. Getting to that location is up to the individual. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, we used to have air included in our tours. We don't do it anymore. We just found that the logistics were just way too much, and people sometimes wanted to use their points. Some people wanted to take a different airline and that kind of thing. If there's a flight inside the tour, so for instance, last time we did the UK tour, there's a flight from Edinburgh to Birmingham that we had included in the tour. That's usually included, but air normally is not included in the tour. Again, it's just more of a logistical issue than anything.
Cool. So it's a case of, so usually it's a case of meet up, and it will usually be coach tour sort of thing. That's that's why logistics work.
Yep, we meet at a certain starting destination. We gather everybody together for a welcome dinner that day, and then we either, depending on what the tour is, of course, because sometimes there's no coach involved, but we usually spend a couple days at that one destination exploring wherever that is. Then the coach heads towards other destinations. For instance, the Hadrian Wall one, we have our coach the first day. We start explorations of Hadrian's Wall, and then go back to Newcastle, and then after that we head out again, end up in Leeds again via coach, and then down to Nottingham. And then we usually have the coach almost every day because we're going all over the place anyway. So usually that's all taken care of too. And usually all meals are included, all entry fees are included, all gaming experiences are included, all geek things are basically included. There's only usually a couple meals and a couple lunches that we want you to go and explore on your own. That's kind of, we always try to give time for people to kind of escape and say, you know what, I've always wanted to go to this one restaurant or something in the middle of London or something like that. So we always try to give a little bit of time for that to happen too. So, but it's almost always a pretty complete package.
Yeah, more often than not, it's something like 90% all in.
Yeah, pretty
cool.
much. Yeah, 90% or more usually. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I discovered building tours is that you really need to make sure that everybody, once you get there, you don't have to worry about anything else. You can always, if you have any questions about any tours, give me an email at headgeek@geeknationtours.com. Visit us at geeknationtours.com and tell me what you think of the tours. Hop on board. I'd love to have you on the UK tour to come and see you guys. And that's us in a nutshell. I'm glad to come back. Maybe we can make it. I can come back more than every third year or so.
That's cool. No, that'd be cool. Okay, but obviously, although Geek Nation Tours is, for want of a better phrase, your day job, you're much more involved in gaming than that, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm an avid geek on all levels: comic books, movies, the whole bit. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, there's a couple of things I wanted to chat to you about, and actually they're kind of podcast related, because I understand you're now kind of heading up 40K Radio. Is that... Yeah. I took it over. It's almost been a year now. We almost we've taken 40K Radio over. We have a brand new crew. It's very, of course, back to 40K, very much about 40K. But that's kind of the small part. What we've done is we've created a network. So although we do have 40K on the network, our network is called the Freebooters Network, and it really covers a huge amount of different, again, geeky interests. So destinations of the mind, I guess, maybe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we have 40K radios on it, of course, and the independent characters have their second show called Unbound on it. D6 Generation has some of their lost chapters published on it. And we've got about 15 different podcasts on it. It kind of is one-stop shop for
for anybody that wants to listen to all things geek. So from comic books to wargaming, lots of wargaming stuff. We're also talking to Daniele from History on Fire. Also, we're thinking about doing a podcast called The Scholarly Warrior that will be about warriors of the past and engagements of the past. So tons of different podcasts on it, different crews, loads of different crews. The Nerd Herders are on there too. It Will Not Die. I don't know which ones you might have heard of, but kind of you just subscribe once and you get almost a podcast a day, actually.
So how did you get involved in that then?
Well, Romeo wanted to move on from 40K Radio for a long time, and him and I were brainstorming once about what would be a good way of kind of moving on, and I said, well, you should get together with a whole bunch of people and make a network, and he said, Teras, why don't you do it? So after a lot of thought, I thought, I could probably add a little bit more to my plate. Not, but why not? And I kind of took over it from there. It was exciting. It still is very exciting to be part of that community and to help that community grow. I mean, I started Geek Nation Tours basically kind of via 40K Radio back in the day, back when Spencer had it. That's how was my main vehicle of getting knowledge about my company, my tour company out. And so I thought that it was kind of a legacy thing too. I was interested in taking over the legacy for sure.
Okay, 40K Radio is one of the originals, isn't it? I mean, okay, it's not always been broadcasting, but it does go right back to the beginning of gaming podcasting. It's good to have it back up and running.
Yeah, thank you. And we have a great crew, Matt, Ashley, and JF. They're really gung ho about 40K. They're very much interested in the new direction that GW seems to be headed. They do loads of reviews. We got cool interviews. Graham McNeil was on the other day. We've always trying to line up a whole bunch of different things. Just a great lineup with them and all the other guys too. We have an amazing lineup and I've gotten so many people have wanted to join that it really is been an honor to be working with everybody. It's been a great endeavor for sure. Oh, I was just going to say that we also have the Freebooters Forum is also part of that too. So we have a forum that's really dedicated to kind of not being, I kind of changed everything on that forum. It's kind of like a social experiment, actually. I've kind of made it so we were trying to get away from bitching and complaining and just treating companies like people too, and treating everybody great, getting rid, of course, of all the flamers and all the trolls online. And my goal with the forum was to make a place where people could come and join a forum and not have to worry about being slammed or hit by from some guy that just wants to bitch and complain or zap you. So that's a very laudable aim. But yeah, I think you got your work cut out on that one, haven't you? Yeah. You know what? I mean, we often get caught up and passionate about what we're talking about, and that's fine. You don't have to be. We want you to be passionate about what you're talking about. It's just that we have such like I was saying earlier, we do live in the age of the geek, and we just have so much to offer us, so much on offer for us, I guess is the way you say it. Amazing amount of games, amazing amount of geek culture. We have tons of movies. We have amazing amount of comic books, and so much so that there's absolutely no need to bitch about where we're at as geeks. We can have preferences for sure, but our world, we live in a blessed time as a geek. So fully take that on and love it. Love what you're doing.
Cool. So if people want to find out more about the Freebooter Network, where's the best place for them to go?
Sure. Well, it depends on what you use. You can always go to freebootersnetwork.com. That's you can listen to our shows there. Or, of course, you can go to iTunes, look for Freebooters Network there, can subscribe there. please subscribe. That would be awesome. We actually have a subscribing contest going on right now. As we gain subscribers, we'll give away more and more prizes. So we are actually doing that via iTunes. Go take a look at us. Facebook. Go take a look at us on Facebook. There's a contest there. Like and share that, and then subscribe. And as we get subscribers, we give more Lord of Change stuff. So if you're a Sneech fan, then this is definitely something for you guys.
Oh, cool. Well, it sounds like you're just incredibly busy.
Yeah, that's very true. But it allows me to talk to guys like you guys, and it's always a pleasure to hop on MBS with you guys and talk games or tours or whatever we're BSing about.
Mike, Dave, have you got any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm just wondering where I'm going to find the money.
Awesome.
The problem is I'm married to a geek, and I suspect I can get her on about 3/4 of these tours.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. That's what we want. We love couples. That's awesome. That's music to my ears.
I suppose the question is, how much does the average trip cost, and do you take English pound notes?
Yeah, we sure do.
And what's the exchange rate like?
Abysmal.
You guys were really hard on us there for the longest time when I was ordering from the UK. You guys were really up, so now it's a little balanced out. But yeah, your pound has come down for sure. Price wise, it really, really varies. It really depends on where we're going and for how long. Can be below the $2,000 US, or it can be above the $5,000 US. Usually it doesn't go that high. Usually it's around the 2 to 3, depending on where we're headed and how long we're going for. So you really have to look at the tour, and all our pricing is down on the bottom of the tour. The tour description is on the site, of course. Scroll all the way down, you'll see the prices. That's where it's rung in at, but we try to be as reasonable as possible. We try to make sure that you guys you're getting good value for your dollar, and you're having fun all the way through. So, but yeah, spouses are welcome. Actually, my wife made me put what's it called, the parallel universe section to the site, and basically that's for the non-geek spouse. And so even if your spouse was non-geek, and he or she wanted to come on the tour, we always help them out too. If they wanted to go on, come to Chicago, for instance, do the Adepticon tour, let the wife game, and he could go to a ball game or some museums or something like that. So
you are not making this any easier to resist.
Yes, that's exactly it. So I tried it. It was Christine said, no, you gotta make sure that the non-geek spouse get something out of it. So.
I have all the Major League Baseball stadiums as a bucket list item. So.
Oh, see, there you go. See, this is perfect. I can get you there, man. At Gen Con, there's a ball field just like right next to the hotel, 3 blocks away from them.
That's minor league, isn't it?
Yeah, it's minor league.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Yes. So there you go.
There you go.
We try to help everybody.
Of course, you just find that Neil just want to go and watch whoever the Colts are playing.
There you go. See?
It's the wrong time of year, mate. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get you get a pre-season game in August.
In August, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
whoops.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but I mean, I might just be too distracted by what's going on at Gen Con. That's it. That's the thing. Oh, then. Maybe next year.
We can put some football in there for you somehow, I'm sure.
I'm sure we can come to some form of arrangement, yeah.
Dear, Lord.
Well, yeah. Teras, as always, it has been fantastic to speak, mate. Thank you for coming on the show. Of course, you turn around and say, it's been 3 years since you've been on the show. We are actually going to be speaking to you next month again, aren't we?
We are, as a matter of fact. That's what I was leading to with the comment that maybe I can come back on again. So that's,
yes, indeed. Yeah. Indeed, yeah. Yes, listeners, if you're not aware, he's only been vaguely enthusiastic about it. Young Mr. Hobbs is arranging a show all about Epic. And if you remember, back when we were first chatting with Teras, we did actually have a chat about the possibility of having this show. So it's only taken us 3 years to sort out. But, but yeah, so Teras will be back with us next month with his gamer head on.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Epic is one of my favorite all-time games, as a matter of fact. So yeah, it's going to be a good goal, I think.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. So thank you so much for coming on. Have a great time at Adepticon.
I will.
And we will look forward to seeing you in September.
Sounds awesome.
That sounds good. And as I say, we'll speak to you next month. So all the very best with the business. And finally, thank you very much for sponsoring the show.
You're welcome. No, that's my pleasure. You guys have a great show. You have a super informative. I listen to it a lot, and one of my favorite teams. So you guys, thank you for doing such a great job.
It's a pleasure, mate, and thank you for coming on. And we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you.
This is a message from The Cranky Lawyer. Huzzah! Please plan to join us for 3 great days of the best our hobby has to offer. Beautiful tabletops, challenging scenarios, board games, a wonderful variety of gaming-related shopping, and great company. Huzzah! May 19th to the 21st, 2017, South Portland, Maine. Miniatures games, board games, tournaments, vendors, raffle and great company. Join us for 3 days of fun. If you want to learn more about shoutouts, visit our Patreon page. The link is on the website. We always love to hear from you, our listeners. You can contact us in a couple of ways. You can do that via email at mailbag@meeplesandminiatures.co.uk, or you can now leave a voicemail message for us. The number to call is 0116 318 4114. Please note, call charges may apply.
So, gentlemen, how are we going to afford to travel on all these tours that we need to do?
I don't know. I really don't.
Neither do I, because I haven't listened to the interview yet.
The problem isn't just the geeky tours.
Mm.
It's things like would I like to go on tour, which includes an opportunity to have a jam at Sun City Studios.
That sounds so awesome, doesn't it?
Among other things.
Yeah.
It was just going, yeah, I'd go on that one. I could probably plan my holidays for the next decade. And, well, yeah, that was good.
The space ones really appealed as well. Yeah,
I hadn't even got to mentioning those.
Yeah, the science geek stuff. So much stuff to go on. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, you never know. He's sponsoring the show at the moment. He might give us a discount. You never know.
What? Take it on from being merely really, really expensive to expensive.
It's all inclusive. So, Gen Con. I want to go to Gen Con. Anyway. Yeah. For the future, perhaps one day.
Well, yeah, Gen Con's also on the list of things you want to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have friends in Dalton, Indiana, so I might be able to pull something off that at least involves not having to pay for hotel, just parking.
It's just parking, right? Okay. A great guest as always. Teras is just so full of enthusiasm in what he does, and he's,
as we say, can talk for Canada.
Indeed. And as we mentioned, he will be back because he is one of the guests on a forthcoming show, is he not, Mr. Hobbs?
He is, yes, definitely. Coming up fairly soon as well.
Indeed. 3-4 weeks time. Yes, we We are going somewhere this show has almost never gone before. Into the realms of Games Workshop. Shock horror.
When are we recording that one again?
5th of April.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
All right.
Yeah, recording that in a couple of weeks. I fully expect to go hello, press a button, and then not say anything for 2 hours.
Yeah, we could be going back to our old episode length for that one.
No kidding.
And then some.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be cool. So then, gentlemen, is that about it for the for this show's proceedings?
I think it probably is.
Oh, can't come up with any good reasons for it not to be.
No.
I mean, it is about that time.
And I've managed to get through a whole episode without buying anything. It's good for me.
That's impressive, mate.
Really? Wow, that's impressive. So have I, actually.
Yeah, maybe that's something we need to cultivate a little bit more.
What, not buying things?
You never know.
It's not going to catch on.
No.
It really is.
No.
Anyone know anyone who makes a 15mm Churchill ARK? Apart from Skytrex.
ARK?
Armoured ramp carrier.
Yes.
I know Skytrex Command Decision do one, but I think it's the only one I can find.
No, I don't think of anybody else that does one. Yeah, of Churchill variants going, that is quite a specialist one.
They were around in Italy. There's several places in the attacks on the Gothic line where they went, river, Churchill ARK, crossing, sorted. So I thought it might be quite cool to have one, because I'm sure there will come a point when the British are thwarted by a river they can't cross.
No, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody knows, I mean, I've got my eye on the Command Decision one, but if anybody happens to know where any others are, usual address.
Okay. And the other thing is, just a reminder, a friend of the show, John Yingling, if you remember a few weeks ago, he won the competition to win a copy of the Tabletop War Games Handbook, which we said he could have as long as he wrote a review of it. If you're listening to this podcast, it's up on the website. So go and have a look at what somebody who isn't us three think about that book. Okay, so thank you, John. Much appreciated. Go check it out. It's an interesting read.
I have to go soon because I got to go on another podcast. So
what?
Time to finish.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're doing a podcast without us.
And more news on this later.
And on that bombshell.
It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
We'll see. Happy gaming. We'll see you next week. Obviously, what do you mean you're going to go on another podcast? Thank you for listening to the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, why not share it with others by leaving us a review on iTunes? And if you have any comments or questions, you can always email the show. The address is info@meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. And you can also visit our webpage, where you'll find a complete episode archive, all the View from the Veranda podcasts, rules reviews, and our blog of hobby items and news, which is updated several times a week. This is also where you'll find the links to our presence on social media, and here you can follow us on Twitter or join our Facebook group. And finally, here you can also find details should you wish to support us by making a donation to the podcast. All this on the Meeples and Miniatures website, www.meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.